What's up, everybody? It is early in the morning. It's already pretty hot. The air is filled with smoke. I hope everybody out in California is safe, and I just pray they get this under control quickly. Hang in there, everybody. Got something really important to talk about today, which I think doesn't get brought up a whole lot. So I want to show some examples of a couple of things that have to do with weeds, grass seed, and hey, making positive choices for when you're about to do your overseeding. Let's go ahead and roll that intro.
What's up, everybody?
Okay, so first things first. Now, if you guys take a look over here, wherever that bubble shows up, I did that leveling project across through this area where I'd had some frost heave in the lawn and I needed to take care of it because it had just really rutted out. And so the mower was getting hung up on certain spots because of how much had kind of moved down the hill. Well, I used certain combinations of things to get my level area done. And in some of the spots, it was very deep and I had to go like 4 inches almost to level some of this stuff out. So the bluegrass that was underneath didn't really pop out the way that it should have because of that depth. It sort of just crushed everything down underneath. So my friend Jeff Stallman, TurfMend right there, he sent me some samples of the TurfMend Blue to fill in some of the spots. And then I also got some of the Pennington over-the-counter stuff at Home Depot just to kind of do my own comparison between the two. Little did anybody know. So I used the TurfMend on this back part where the sprinklers are running right now. I used the Pennington where I'm standing in this area. And I want to get down on the ground and show you a few things and some stuff I'm not really too happy about. Okay, so right here in front of me, this was a Pennington area. You can see, I'll just kind of move away from the camera and show you everything, but right here in front of me, pretty much where my arm is, all the way down around here, back up to over here in this area. So, you know, not a lot. I mean, we're not talking about too wide here, but, you know, a fairly good distance, 10 or 12 feet. So maybe 30 or 40 square feet. Now, the first thing to know in here is probably on the camera, you can't really tell, but a significant amount of the grass is growing in here is rye. So the bluegrass is sort of maybe kind of starting to take hold, but there is a bigger problem, and it's something that I don't really like. Let's go over and look at the TurfMend section, and then we'll come back over here. Okay, so this right here is the TurfMend area where I had just a small spot here, and then another one back behind me. And the difference in this turf, in this section, this was the TurfMend Blue. Yes, there was a significant amount of rye that did come up in the beginning, but the bluegrass filled in really quick, and it is super, super dense. This is really, really good, okay? Like the fill in and the time and the way it looked, but you can see a difference between just here, around here where the original grass was, and then what's inside here. There is a significant amount of growth. It's very thick, and there's a good combo of both the ryegrass and the bluegrass, and this was done in the dead of summer, no troubles. Now I'm gonna scoot back just a little bit and show you some more here. This is another area. This is actually inside of the kidney bean where I scalped it, so this is all still recovering from that scalp. It's not really a whole lot to talk about in here because I really tortured it in the middle of summer. But again, you can see a little bit of the rye through here, but mostly bluegrass. This is still in the TurfMend section. Now I want to go back to the other side and show you what's frustrating. Do you see that? That is some wicked bullshit right there. And you know why? I have not had a weed on this lawn in 5 years. And guess what? It is everywhere inside where I put that Pennington seed down. I want to take you over to the weed bed and just show you what I mean by, like, I don't get weeds in the lawn. They're around the lawn, but they don't come into the lawn. No pre-emergent, no post-emergent. Check this out. This whole thing under here, I've just sort of left it as like a science project. Occasionally I come in through here with my string trimmer and I knock it all out, but I don't do anything in here to control this. And it sits inside of a certain area and it never creeps out onto the grass. I mean, it's like a perfect barrier all the time of this stuff never coming into the turf. So again, just to have a couple of weeds in the body of the lawn doesn't make me very happy. Here's why this is frustrating. I have not applied an herbicide to this lawn ever. It's been thick and healthy, and this is irritating. There aren't anywhere else in the lawn. I can go through, I have combed this thing, I have looked over the whole place. There's not another weed anywhere. It is just in the section where I put out that Pennington patch filler. Nothing else. Now, another very interesting thing is when this gets watered, it has an extreme amount of mushrooms. Now, part of that is there's mushroom spores in all soils. That's not really all that uncommon. Whatever they're using for a medium in there for their for water holding probably actually has something extra. But this area right here gets mushrooms almost every single time I water it. So again, that's fine. That dries up. But the weeds really are upsetting. So I think this is really something that needs to be brought up and talked about on a regular basis, is where you're going to get your seed from. Is it clean? Is it going to give you what you want? I mean, I don't think that there's any sort of intention that there's weed seeds inside this, but I just can't freaking believe it. Because, not that I don't mind putting out a weed killer if I have to. If I need to throw down a herbicide, I'll throw down an herbicide, but I have not had to do that. So I am actually going to end up spot treating the few weeds. There aren't that many, but that's a 1,000,000,000% increase over what was here before. So again, it is a little bit irritating. I think when you're making your seed choices this year, it's very important to go through a reputable company, somebody who's got a good long track record. I know that Pete from GCI is putting out a ton more seed this year. It's being sold on a bunch of different websites now, not just his own. And the track record for his turf is pretty fantastic. I used it on an overseeding project last year as far as his tall fescue is concerned, and it was great. So I think at this point I do have a little bit of concern over the counter stuff, and probably there's a lot of people who would say, yeah, of course, you know, that stuff's garbage or whatever. But, you know, Pennington Seed is a highly reputable company, and they've been in the forage and food crop and grass seed, and I mean, you name it, they're everywhere. So this is a little concerning. I'm going to change camera angles because, you know, I want to give you something else to look at, just not the same view, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So at this point, it's kind of like I got to sit and contemplate my next move, because here's a few things that I think I've brought up in the past, and I want people to realize this. Now, these are dandelions that are showing up here, interestingly enough. You know, quick shot of 2,4-D, done. No big deal. I can take those out. Really not a bad time to do that, actually. And I think the temperatures are supposed to cool off, so it's a little bit safer for doing something like that. So I can go ahead and knock them out. I'm just still not very happy about having to do it at all. The other thing is, I could just sit and let it grow and just do what it's going to do. Because if you have watched any of my earlier videos, you know there were some big plans for this place, and we're about to start digging. So it's entirely possible that within the next 3 to 4 weeks, this lawn doesn't exist anymore anyway. In the meantime, though, until that happens, I think that, you know, taking care of it, regular management, and doing the things that I'm supposed to do is going to be the best thing. I'm not going to leave them. I'm going to go ahead and treat. And I'm actually due for a feeding today anyway. I've been letting the lawn kind of shag up a little bit, so I need to cut it. And Then, after the cut, I'm gonna go ahead and feed it and hit it with some 2,4-D to knock that out. I'm not gonna bore anybody with the filming of cutting and doing all that kind of stuff with the lawn. I'll actually put that in the next video because there is something really important that I did discover that I'd like to share. And I'm just gonna sit here and be frustrated on the lawn. Moral of the story, choose your seed wisely. It's coming into overseeding time. Make sure, again, you're getting stuff from a reputable source, good track record. You know, there's supposed to be a disclaimer on there about weed seeds and contaminants and stuff like that. It's very important. It's just very important. And if you don't really necessarily want to be dealing with a crap ton of weeds in your lawn, then I suggest you, A, get the seed up and germinating fast. That's going to be one big thing. You want to get coverage as quick as you can. Bare dirt is going to allow for weeds to come in, so just make sure you get that coverage as fast as possible. Feed it properly. When you put your seed out, get good contact, cover that seed, do everything appropriately, and hopefully you're not going to be dealing with weeds either early or later. Okay? That's it. That's all I got. Bummed on the lawn with John. I'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.